In this video, we're going to take a look at managing line styles. And there is a facility which allows you to copy line styles to other libraries, rename styles, delete styles, and create new line style resource files. Now, it's this last item that I'm particularly interested in here. It's a good idea to store your custom line styles in a resource file separate from the default file that MicroStation supplies, and preferably outside the program files too. Now, while you can add custom line styles to the default linestyle.rsc file as you did earlier, you may lose those styles when you update MicroStation to a newer version where the linestyle.rsc file may be overwritten by the new version. So let's create a new resource file and locate it outside of MicroStation's program files. And to do that, we go to our line styles editing box, go to File and New, which will create a new resource file. Now, right now, it's offering us to locate the file in the default directory, which we don't want to do. So I'm going to put this new file in my specific MicroStation hard disk, and I'm going to put it in level 2, which is where we're working. We need a file name. I'm going to call this one my L styles, and I'll save that. And here's my new resource file in my own folder outside of MicroStation. Now, we do see here some line styles already in place as a default, and we see the internal line styles, which are the standard lines. Now, there are no real custom line styles here, so you might want to copy some of the existing styles to your new resource file where they can be edited. So let's add some styles, File, and Manage, and click on File. And now we're going to open a source file. And in this case, it's going to be the default lstyles.rsc file. Click on that. And we need to navigate right back. So we need to go down to find Program Data and Bentley, MicroStation VHI, Workspace, System, and Symbols. And here we'll find the existing lstyle.rsc file. Click on that. On the left then we see the existing line styles in the default resource file, which you've just loaded. And on the right I see my new MyStyles resource file, which has nothing in it. All I have to do now is select any of these particular styles and copy them over to mine. So the boy line is the obvious choice, since that's the custom line that we made in the previous videos. So we select that, hit copy, and that's copied over. So that boy line style is now in my personal folder. Let's throw something else in too. Let's throw diamond in just for something to put in. Copy, that's gone as well. We'll say OK. And we see my two line styles. Now, at this point, of course, you can do various things. You can edit the line styles, and we'll be looking at that in the next video. We can delete existing line styles here, but if you do remember to delete both the name and the various components of that line style. Now, so far so good, but, and this is a big but, and this is something that you have to keep very firmly in mind. At this point, MicroStation really can't see this resource file, which may sound a little strange, but under the rules of the game, MicroStation has to be able to find this new resource file and offer you the custom lines for placement. Now, the way we do that is to point the configuration files at this file. Now, you've done this work before, but let's do this again together. We need to go to Workspace and Configuration. So we're configuring the paths to this resource file. And on the left side, we need the symbology section. On the right side here, we see font directories, which are the font symbols, and symbology resources, which is what we need. So click on symbology resources. Now mine's highlighted in blue. Yours won't be, or unlikely to be. Mine's in blue because I've been experimenting, as you can well imagine. Down below, we see two items, and these are paths to resource files. If I move it along, you'll see that they both end in star.rsc, which simply means that any resource files in that path will be seen by the system. Now, we want to be a little more specific. We want to point specifically at the new resource file. So we need to edit this information. So we click on Edit. Now we see two boxes. One is a new value box, and one is called an expansion box. In the expansion box, we can see the two paths to those standard resource files. The new value here is actually the syntax used to point to these two files. I know this sounds complex, but it'll work out in a second. We need to append our information to the expansion box. So we're adding information to the expansion box. So we append, and we place the new value in here. And our new value, in my case, is M for the drive, / level 2 for the subfolder, / and the name of my file, which is my lstyles.rsc. So that's now pointing at my file in that level 2 folder. Having done that, notice that in the expansion box, the information that you've just typed has appeared. So now we have 3 paths, and the third one is to my new line style. We'll say OK, and we'll say OK. Now, before we do that, note that your symbolic resources are probably highlighted in blue now, indicating that the user has modified this system. We'll say OK. It'll ask us if we want to save what we've just done. Of course, we want to say yes, and we're out. Now, even now, MicroStation still cannot actually see the new resource file. And what we have to do next is very strange. We have to close the program and start it again. So I need to shut down MicroStation and then reopen it. So I'm going to do that, and I'll meet you on the other side of doing that. Okay, we're back again, having reopened MicroStation. So now, when I open my line style and edit box and load a line style resource file, so we open. Here's my MicroStation drive, here's my level 2, and here's my linestyles.rsc. So we click on that, and now I see the 2 line styles that I imported into my new resource file folder. And at this point, of course, you can start adding or deleting or editing more line styles, and be assured that since it's out of the MicroStation software, it won't get overwritten when you upgrade. Now, that was a lot of information and a lot of procedure. It will be really helpful if you went back over this video again. Make a second new resource file with a different name and maybe a different location, just to be sure you understand this, because it is a very important point.